conform to the norm, the maverick of going against the grain, Mr. Irrfan Khan. Irrfan, thank you so much for being with Filmy Cafe.
Thank you, Vineet.
So film की tagline Irrfan hai, can you fall in love with someone you've never met? Can you?
Yes, you can. You do all the time. I used to. And it's the you don't need to see a person sometimes, and that's what happens all the time, on the internet, on different things, and there's a kind of perception you always carry that you will meet your soulmate someday, and you haven't seen that person, but still you carry that desire in you, that longing in you that you'll meet someday your soulmate, although you haven't seen your soulmate.
Right.
So you can fall in the sense when you have a longing, when you have a desire to connect to somebody, yes, you can.
What made you fall in love with Saajan, this character you play in the Lunchbox?
I think his the emotion of the story was very, very sweet and very pure, and there was some. It was very simple, but there is the thing which really hit me before I started shooting was the sensuality between these two people, which is not stated, which is not said anywhere, which is not, it doesn't reflect in their conversations also, but there's a very strong sensuality between these two people.
Danny was said about you, Irrfan, that you have this innate capability of being able to find the core, emotional core of a character. What to you is Sajan's emotional core? Because he doesn't say much. What is his emotional core?
I think emotion is. I think he was unaware of a romance which was lying there inside his personality. He was unaware of it, and he thought it's gone. So he had all his plans laid out for his coming life, but there is something inside him which is crying to be addressed, and that's what and his there's a kind of uh, there's a kind of purity about that man, you know. The girl who's trying to connect to him romantically, she's eager to get a kind of emotional response from him, but he's completely unaware of it. And he's treating her as if, giving advices like father, like friend, like, elder brother, and, but not lover.
Yeah, true. So for us as an audience, it's a pleasure to watch talented actors like yourself, Nawazuddin, Nimrat, share the screen. Working with them, because you don't share much time with one of them and with the other, he's an annoying thorn in your side. How was it working with these two? You're obviously much senior to them.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I loved whatever space I shared with these actors, and Nimrit doesn't have to know much experience of cinema, but how come she acted in a way that she appears as if she's a veteran. She's done lot many films. It took time for I took years to understand camera, and here she is. She's fabulous. I didn't expect that her performance would be so poetic and so. And even Nawaz, whatever frames I shared with him was pleasure.
People talk so highly about you, and deservedly so. Sujoy Ghosh saw the film and he said, this guy is a monster of an actor. Nimrat says you're a profound actor. Do you take these compliments seriously, or how do you take them? What do you make of them?
I like it. If the compliments are genuine, if they're doing my stories, my performance is doing something to their heart, to their mind, to their intellect, yeah, I enjoy it. That's what you do. That's why you do stories, that you can have an impact on audiences being. So that's what you look for, and that's why you started acting. That you can make a difference in people's life. So that's I'm really grateful that people like my performance.
You were in conversation with the director, co-director of the Toronto International Film Festival last night,
Oh, yes.
right? How was that? How was you had the audience and then you had a conversation? What was that like?
I, when these kind of conversations are there on the stage, you always feel that, how are we going to talk for 90 minutes? And then there's this Cameroon, and Bailey, and the way he just nudges you, the way he just puts you on the track, and you start enjoying it. And you feel, oh, we have just, maybe we've spoken for half an hour, and we don't know that we have already spoken for 90 minutes. That was fantastic. He's a very pleasant presence he has, very pleasant.
Now, Irfan, you are known to represent an Indian face, an Indian identity on an international platform. We're at the Toronto International Film Festival. Has India found a voice as a cinema on the world map? And what is that voice?
It's in process. It is very soon, I think, India will find, because this new generation is trying to experiment, trying to find new ways to tell a story, and there's a whole lot of new matured audience which is demanding these kind of films. And audience is the godfather right now, because uh, audience demand is creating these circumstances, because they're very eager. They want to see original stories from India. They want to see original way of telling stories from India, and that's what is encouraging and creating an atmosphere. And so sooner or later we are going to find our voice, international voice, where we could make films for the universal audience. And I think this film has it's going to inspire a lot many filmmakers, because the way it has connected to universal audience. The film was shown in Cannes, and next day it was sold almost world over, because everybody could connect to the story. It was not about dabbawalas. It's just a trigger point. It could have happened anywhere, in Japan, in China, in Shillong, in anywhere. So I think this is going to create it's going to inspire a lot many people. This film, I believe.
You said the audience is the godfather. Do you think audiences in India have a sort of a conflicted perspective on what makes good cinema? Obviously, you have the biggest film that just released, made a ton of money, and then you also have A Life of Pi, which makes over 600 million around the world. Do we have a diluted perspective of what is good cinema?
See, audience cannot be for just one kind of film. Audience is diverse, and that's what creates atmosphere. All kind of films should exist, and formula films, studio films will never go away. Films which give you a kind of escapism, film which gives you entertainment, and just have a good time in the theater, and go back and don't think about it at all. So these kind of films are the need of people. So there is audience which enjoys this kind of cinema. There is audience which enjoys a cinema which stays with them after viewing. They want to be with that film. Like, I know so many people who just came after Life of Pi, and they said, we were just thinking about that film for weeks and weeks after we watched the film.
Right.
So I would love to be part of that kind of cinema, where I leave an impact which keep resonating in people's heart and mind.
Well, you've already made that impact, and may it continue to increase multiple. Thank you so much for making time for Filmicafe, and all the best for the Lunchbox.